G'day guys, welcome back to another week of building the Santisima Trinidad. This week we're going to start off with having 4 layers of planks coming up from the bottom of the ship. One thing I have checked already is these supports that we've put in place. Is the one here, one back here and one at the front. They actually sit too low. I've had to sand them back so that the plank will fit nicely against the frames there. It's not a real lot, but you do have to sand that back. Also, the planks that go at the back and the front, we're going to have to soak with water because as we come down here, we're continuing along that very edge of the keel. That will have to be twisted so it sits flat as it comes off the frames. So as I said, we're going to have 4 layers to start with, so I worked it out we need 8 planks soaking so we can twist them so they sit flat. So the first plank we're actually going to lay sits between frame 5 and frame 11, so that will just be sitting nice and flat on the frames. I'll just have to trim that up a little bit so it sits halfway through the frame. So I'll get some glue and we'll get started. one thing I'll point out, between these last two planks we have a very small gap. The instructions actually show it pushed right up against it, but one thing I don't like doing is forcing a plank to go where it doesn't want to go, because generally I find that as you go down the problem just gets worse and worse. So I'd rather leave a small gap here that I can put a sliver of wood into, rather than, as I said, force the plank to sit where it doesn't want to sit. And you'll see a bit more of that as I start going up towards the bow a bit later. But yeah, I just thought I'd point that out, and we'll continue with the planking. Okay, I'm just going to fill in that little gap there that I was saying about before. It's actually not very big. I probably could have filled it with wood putty, but I'm going to use some wood this time for it. I've planed down a little piece of scrap wood I had, just using my mini plane, which you'll see me using when I go back to planking at the top, as we'll be starting to taper the planks. So I'll just get some glue in there. So yeah, I'll just be trimming this up when it dries a little bit. So that's actually the 4 layers of planking that we had to do on both sides of the ship. So now we'll be returning to planking from the top, and as I said, we'll be starting to taper the planks. Okay, the next plank that we have to put towards the stern of the ship. Had to measure a mark 40 millimeters back, and then just angled that plank into a point which will then line up with the stern planking at the back there. So we'll just get that one on, we'll have a look. So that's just comes up to that point where the stern planking is, and the planks going forward will actually be curving around and meeting up in the middle there. So next up we'll just do the bow. Okay, now we've just got to put a plank around the bow here. I've tapered that down to 3 millimeters at the end, and I started the tapering about the 90 millimeter mark, which is roughly on this frame. It doesn't actually tell you in the instructions what to do, it's just that I have a feeling that's where we need to start. So at least for the next few planks I know that's what we're going to be doing, tapering it down to that 3 mil. So I'll just work out where I've got to cut this plank. If I can find my pencil somewhere. So I'll just cut that and then we'll glue it to the ship. Okay, next plank that we put on the stern of the ship, we have to get a really big bend from this point on the last frame so it sits up like that under here. We're going to have a small gap which we'll just fill with wood and a bit of filler, and then after that point they should all come around reasonably easy. But this first bend's going to be a little bit tricky, so I'll bend this and then I'll come back when we're trying to bend it around the stern there. Okay, this one's actually come out better than the other side. We've almost got no gap at all as we've come around. Actually cut it a tiny bit short under here, but I can just fill that tiny bit with a bit of wood putty, and then I'll just make sure the rest of them right up against here. All the rest should be reasonably easy. It's always just that first one that's a bit of a pain because it's such a tight bend. Going forward, this video is already 2 days behind schedule. I won't show any more of laying the middle plank. I'll only show the stern and the bow, and hopefully that'll allow me to get through this a little bit quicker. Okay, that's all we've got time for this week. We completed those 4 planks from the keel line up, and then added another 6 onto this part of the ship here, and I've done the same on the other side. Next week we'll be planking up to the top of all these frames that we have up here. So yeah, more planking still to come. This video is a couple of days late thanks to working all weekend, so I better end it here. So thanks for joining me, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.